What's up, everyone? Set there. Okay, we are going to do a video on a pretty cool little technique that I think I invented, but I'm sure somebody's done it before me. I don't know who made it up, but other people have noticed it, really like it. So I thought I would share it with anybody out there that might want to try this out. This is going to be an alternative to making vocal doubles. So adding width to a vocal, in the case of this song, to a specific part to make it a contrast the first verse. But real quick, let me give you a little explanation that this is from a mixing course that I have made and produced and released with the self-recording band. So, this video is not from that, but this song and this concept are covered in that Mixes Unpacked Volume 1, I believe. Maybe it's Volume 2, can't remember. But in any case, it was a limited time release, so you can't just go grab it whenever you want. But if you do want it, I have a free mixing resource by the self-recording band down below called Standout Mixes. You can go check that out, taught by my co-host on the Self-Recording Band podcast, and it goes through how to get great sounding mixes with the plugins you already own. So you don't have to buy anything. The resource is free too. Totally go check that out. And then by checking that out, you'll be on the list to be notified whenever we re-release the Mixes Unpacked series. And you can decide if you want to grab that or not. Totally up to you. To start things off, I'm going to show you the first verse, and you can get the vibe of the song and hear how cool the song is. Number one, we got an amazingly cool distorted drum and vocal sound going on. It's just got an awesome vibe. It's one of my favorite songs I've ever mixed, honestly. And then I'll show you the second verse and what that vocal double technique that I used is and sounds like in the mix. And then following that, we'll dig into, I guess, how to do it. It's really simple, so stick around. You're gonna like it. Here we go. This is the first verse.
I'm working too hard for you. I'm working too hard for you. So why don't you come on backstage pre-show? Take care of things in the back room.
All right. So like I said, very cool, gritty, vibey, dark pop is what I like to call this. Now, the second verse. I want you to listen specifically to the right side. So ideally you're wearing headphones for this, or you got a good studio environment to listen in. But this vocal double is panned, leaning to the right. It's not a hard right, but it's about halfway. And have a listen to it.
What you doing later? What you doing later? I got plans till 2, and if you want, then you can meet up here. No second chance.
There we go. It's now on the left.
There's no round 2. Get a little fucked up, clean up in time to catch the news.
All right, so hopefully you can hear that, but we'll of course jump in and get a little more detailed look to help you hear what's really going on there. But you can immediately tell that it doesn't sound like a regular vocal double, and it doesn't sound like just reverb or delay either. So if we had done delay to get this effect, we would have just thrown an aux track up, thrown a delay on it with that kind of rough timing, a slap back, really tight timing, and then pan that right. But the problem with that is that it is a copy of our lead vocal, where I wanted it to sound like that. That's the effect I'm going for entirely. A slap back delay that's kind of lo-fi sounding and maybe a little more ambient, but I didn't want the performance to match. So I wanted to disguise a completely separately recorded double as a reverb delays chain. So we just did that. We recorded it again. So we can look at just the lead vocal here for a line.
What you doing later?
And that shows you kind of the effects that are going on in that chain as well. And then I got him to the singer, Chris, and this is an artist named Skov, by the way. I got Chris to record that line again. I'm just going to bypass all the effects on the double here.
What you doing later?
I mean, we've got distortion and stuff going on, but it's much drier. So 2 different takes. We'll compare that one more time. Lead vocal dry.
What you doing later?
Vocal double dry.
What you doing later?
I already committed some width to that or something, so that's as dry as I can show it to you right now. But you get the point that it was just a second pass, like you would normally record a vocal double, but then we just got to mess with it until it sounds like a delay or a reverb. And let's dig into that. So I can tell that pretty much I just went with the same recording chain I had used in the lead vocal. And I mean, that's a topic for another day, but suffice to say there's some distortion in there. But then it looks like right here. Here's the difference. I threw a reverb on. Valhalla Vintage Reverb, my go-to reverb for almost everything, honestly. I love this thing. Went with kind of darker color, and you can see that I did carve out a lot of the lows and quite a bit of the highs as well. And that's giving us some more lo-fi kind of vibes. It's pretty short for me anyways, 0.84 seconds, and the mix is 100%. I could have added a pre-delay, and maybe that would be cool, but because it's a separate performance, I didn't really think it was necessary. So a pre-delay, if you're not familiar, is how much delay before the reverb or delay signal plays. So if you had this on your lead vocal, for example, and had the mix not all the way, you would hear your lead vocal without any effects, and then that pre-delay amount of time would go by, and then this reverb would happen. But in the case of this being a unique performance and having it on a different track, I didn't think that was necessary because there's already timing and pitch discrepancies between the recorded double and the lead vocal. So that's the whole beauty of this, is that the lead vocal and the double are already different. We just have to make them wet. And then it's really the same from there on. I've got the same vocal chain going on pretty much otherwise than this one reverb. So it's just a different performance. That's the main thing. It wouldn't work if it was the same performance, but it's a different performance, sung well, and then reverb slapped on that. And then the last cool thing we did is mess with the panning automation. Let's listen to our lead vocal and this double together without the rest of the band.
What you doing later? What you doing later? I got plans till 2, and if you want, then you can meet up here.
And it'll change here.
No second chance. There's no round 2. Get a little fucked up, clean up in time to catch the news.
Pretty cool, right? Not every trick has to be complicated. It's just get them to record another pass, plop it in where you want it, slap some reverb on it, and you've got something pretty cool. One more time with the whole band in, because now you've got your ear tuned to what that double sounds like. I think you'll pick it out better. And I'm going to let it play into the pre-chorus just a little bit too, because it's a cool section, and you'll maybe even hear some other stuff going on there that I've done.
What you doing later? What you doing later? I got plans till 2, and if you want, then you can meet up here. No second chance. There's no round 2. Get a little fucked up, clean up in time to catch the news. It's dark eyes.
This section of the song really is just such an example of how much automation can add to a mix. If you listen closely, you'll hear that the drums also lose all of their top end, and that creeps back in for kind of a crescendo as it goes. It's a very dramatic, not subtle at all effect, but it works so well that our ear isn't like, what's wrong? It just works. And I think this vocal double is another example of just a change that adds so much to the song, but the listener is not going to be like, what's that? They're just going to think it sounds great. So that's always something to aim for, something to strive for, is creative decisions that actually keep people further in the song rather than take them out of it. And when it's simple and you can do it on the fly, quick like that, it's even better. Like, this took me no time to communicate to Chris when we were recording. It's just like, oh, I have an idea. Do you mind singing that part again? Bam, new track, reverb, pan it out, go. And I think Chris actually had the idea for it to change panning on the halfway through. I can't remember, but it was a cool creative moment. It worked out awesome. Love it. There was so much more great vocal production in the song, but like I said, we'll leave it on that for today. And if you do want to check out the Mixes Unpacked course on the whole song here, just head down to the Standout Mixes link down below, grab that free mixing resource, and then you'll be on the email list on if we ever re-release the Mixes Unpacked course with this song. Okay. Thank you so much again. Please do subscribe. Really great seeing the channel grow. I appreciate it so much. I'm having fun doing this. If you have anything you want me to make, any topics or anything like that, put them down below in the comments. I'd love to. And I guess I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.
Like the feeling that you're giving, the taste I just keep